Welcome back to the Tracie Trendy Show, my lovelies. It's another day, it's another dollar, and it is another recap of Love After Lockup, my loves. Now let's get to the business at hand. The first on the docket is no other than Brookes and JK. All right? Woo! Child. Now, Brookes, she gets kicked out after this big fight with JK. JK says, you gotta bounce. Get out of my mama's house. Yeah. All right. Now, I think it's about a couple of weeks, 3 weeks maybe. She cocks up a plan. She finds out that she might be pregnant. All right. She took 50 million pregnancy tests to come to this conclusion. And I'm wondering whether or not Temu is running a special on pregnancy tests. Because remember, this chick only has $23 to her name. How is she effing affording a party pack of tests? How's she affording that? Oh, loves. Now, I guess she must have stocked up before she lost her job, or she maybe. Maybe this is her plan B. Okay. Now, loves, this world is going to hell in a handbasket because what I found out on Reddit is that people are selling fake and positive pregnancy tests. My loves, it is crazy. So anyway, Brookes tells her mom, and her mom thinks that Brookes and JK's child doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell of making it in the world. And I'm like wondering, now if she didn't have, bought this party pack and maybe she did get legitimate tests, WTF, WTF, WTF. Why are these chicks hoarding these pissy pregnancy sticks and placing them on the counter? I am grossed out. And they just flash them like a deck of cards. So grossed out. And she arrives to see JK. She drops the bomb that she might be pregnant. He tells his folks. They have a conniption. Brookes thinks she's a good-ass mama. Okay, her mama's raising those kids. In the meantime, she puffs away on a vape. And they fighting like, we can't be fighting over these broke MFers. We gave them a whole box of condoms. They got to figure this out on their own. The stepdaddy says they have to figure it out. He does not have time for the crap. And that was the end of the scene. We move on to, let's see, the next on the docket is Bianca and Daniel. This couple has already split. We're discussing the downward spiral. All right. So Daniel has to leave town because he has to go to court because he had an old case he caught before he went in for the poking. He don't want to go back in. It's a theft charge. He was stealing over there at Walmart. And in the meantime, he leaves Bianca behind. He says, he bounced out without saying a word. And she's out there filming. And then she gets a call from his PO. And she flips the F out. She leaves without saying anything. Finally, she calms down. And it turns out that the PO knows the business. And it might be that Daniel unleashed on his PO telling this lady that his life with Bianca sucks. And when Daniel calls Bianca back, she's like, why does the PO know everything? He says, don't worry, I'm not about to dip out. Everything went fine in court too. And I'll be back tomorrow. Well, tomorrow came and gone. And then it's day 3. Bianca's blowing up Daniel's phone. He doesn't want to hear it. He's coming home, but he knows there's going to be a fight. And he wants his space and he wants his peace. But she continues to flood his calls. And he's overwhelmed by the codependency and he just wants his freedom. All right. He just wants her to take a back seat. This is his life and his life alone. Okay. He ain't sharing it. Okay. Moving on to Justine and Mike. These are like nothing but teenagers. I don't understand. They didn't they have not settled this argument. It's a continuation from last week. One wants the barbershop to get some, some money, and the other one wants the wedding. And Justine is like, your little harebrained schemes have not produced money. But yet they got $100,000. So I want to know where the money's coming from. Is it coming from the show? It's quite possible, but I imagine these two could just burn through money. I don't see them saving 100 G's. So anyway, they're fighting. Justine doesn't want to take a back seat to anything. She says, I've always kind of like, had this delayed satisfaction. I never got what I wanted. It just delay, and I want it now. So they have a fight. His mama called their marriage a roller coaster, and they should see a counselor. But I'm like, they need a financial counselor. All right, that's what they need. But you can't really tell Justine anything, because I think she's just a little spoiled brat. That's what I really think. They're going to learn the hard way. Moving on the docket is Courtney and Will. It's been days. This married woman and this married man haven't talked, and since she's been out of jail. And she says, well, she has these excuses, and he says it's BS that she cannot call him. She is his wife. And I'm like, it can go both ways. But if she's not picking up the phone, I don't know what the situation is between Courtney and Will. She claims she wants support, moral support. And he says he can't be in Portland every time she messes up. But it really boiled down to she wanted moolah support. Moolah, dinero, money. She wanted in a term of $1,000 a month. Because she's working a job, but she says it's not enough to support herself, and she got to pay rent on this the halfway house. And Will's response is, look, I don't give money to someone who doesn't communicate and is fooling around with a sugar daddy. Now, Will asks if she's alone, and she says yes. But Mark chimes in. He makes his presence known because he ain't having it. He want that girl all to himself. He's spending money on her. And Will hears his voice. And he wants her to stay out of jail. And she feels as if he's a nag because she's not perfect. She's not Martha Stewart or anything like that. And his response is that she's not a wife. And they're breaking up because he's like, I'm over it. You are for the streets. And he didn't really spend time to get to know this woman. I think he saw the blonde hair and all that, and he just went goo goo gaga, and got married in a moment's notice. And the producer asked Mark whether or not he ever slept with Courtney. And he said, now he's being grimy. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe they had a little something. She's got a bait. She keeping him on a hook. He said they had their hot moments. Okay? So I don't think she loves Mark or even could stand Mark. But for the money, she depends on men. And as I said, I think Will made a good decision. Break it off. Next on the docket is Leticia and Keith. The children seems to be the focal point of their scenes. All right. We find out that Keith has tres kids, and he's trying to get custody of his son. Lost custody. And the lawyer says, well, you know what? Keith's been in the pokey. He can't just roll out the pokey, just roll out and expect to be handed over a child. Because he should have been there before the child fell out, went into the system. He should have been there, but he wasn't. He was in the pokey. So they're going to take that all into consideration. Leticia, of course, doesn't like that news. The next scene, we have her and her daughter, Kiara, who finds out that Keith isn't her biological dad. Leticia said that girl started calling Keith daddy on her own, but she didn't intervene throughout the years to say, look, darling, that man ain't your daddy. Your daddy is a bum who beat the shit out of me. But if you want to call this man daddy, go right ahead. But I want you to know he's not your daddy. He's your chosen daddy. But she glossed over the fact, all right, And that was earth-shattering news. That girl was shook, okay? Shook. She thought the man, Keith, was the older sister's daddy too. The older sister's got a daddy. She goes to a visitation with the oldest daddy. I heard that she might be living with her daddy. I heard through the street that the oldest might be living with the daddy. But anyway, Leticia's on the next business at hand, and she gonna bake this chocolate cake. All right, that's what she gonna do. Woo! Okay, next on the docket we have Zerilla and Troy, aka Zeriuah. I'm calling her Zerilla. All right, they got a nice little house by the lake. They pay 50-50. I don't know if they're renting or buying. My guess, renting. But anyway, they say they have shut out Karen, but she calls, say it's emergency. Troy ends that conversation. Stat. I'm like, how you gonna end a conversation when it's an emergency? Listen to your mom. He cut her off. He did pick to find any little negative thing that he thought she said and kind of ended the conversation. Then his sister calls saying that his brother is spiraling, and he ends that call, but he's up all night trying to call his brother on his own, and he gets no answer. This is his younger brother, and he decides to go see his brother. He rolls out his suitcase, and Zerilla's out there cooking breakfast, and she's like, what's all of this? He says, I'm going to have to roll up and see my brother because he's not doing so great. And she said, okay, is that it? He says, if I got some extra time, I'm going to see little Troy. And she says, fine, I want to go. I have to talk to Anya because we got to get stuff situated. And he says that he's not going to include her in the BS. And he going to first handle his brother business, and then we're going to settle this stuff with Anya. And then Zerilla's like, oh, hell. The real tea is that Zerilla's butthurt because she knows he's going to see his daughter and Anya. And she can't stand it. She's jealous of the child. She's jealous of the baby mother. All right. That's the long-ended truth. And that's why she want to cut them off. But you know what? You can't really do that. Zerilla needed to marry an orphan, all right? A man who has no family and no kids, just nobody. Because anybody with a heart is going to want to connect to the people that they love. That's just plain and simple, okay? So there you have it, my loves. A very entertaining episode. I love it. We're like 3 or 4 episodes in. No snooze fest. Keep it up. Life After Lockup. My loves, what do you guys think? Drop a line below. Share your thoughts. What do you think? What do you think about all these characters in this show? How's it going? Share and care the video if you like to. Also, subscribe because you're not going to get this commentary anywhere else. And in the meantime, in the tween time, my loves, I'm going to catch you all out on the flip side.